All right, this is the Conservation Commission meeting. It's Thursday, January 9th, 2020. It's exciting. I know, I did 2019 already. So hopefully that'll be done. Confirmation of agenda.
Any changes?
Any changes, anyone? No changes?
I believe the, had a text from Joanne earlier, reminder.
Motion to approve the agenda is written.
So,
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approval of the meeting minutes.
No, thank you.
Any discussion about the minutes?
No, that's good.
They're all good, right? Nicely done.
I put in that little praise thing for Joanne.
Towards Joanne.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
you're seconded.
Motion to approve the minutes as written.
so,
Second?
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Thank you. Are there any announcements?
She said there was, we have it in our, what's today's date?
9.
Right.
We have it in our packets, but we should probably say it. There's something,
About this?
Yes. I would assume. Yep.
yeah,
This is the work of 1,000, Sunday, January 26th at 2 p.m. Groton Center, 163 West Main Street in Groton. To film a conversation with Marion Stoddard, environmental activist, Jamie Eldridge, State Senator, Karen Gray, Wildland Trust Executive Director. That should be pretty exciting.
is it free or?
It is free to all.
Yeah, free and open to all. Reserve a seat.
But reserve your seat, 'cause
Yeah.
I'm sure it's gonna be wild too.
Is there a phone number?
No, go to gpl.org though it says, for reserving the seat.
G,
GPL, Groton Public Library.
yeah, pl.org to, so where'd you see that?
Right in the very upper block there. The very end, right there.
Filmmaker Susan Edwards will introduce her award-winning documentary. Wow. January 26th.
That's a major award.
Any other announcements? I guess we'll put off accounts payable.
Oh, we have one.
Oh, we have one.
And, yeah. She's stuck in my.
That's a big one. Pay to Solitude Lake Management. This is perform post-treatment surveys at air ponds. 10, 11, 19. Submit year-end report on 12, 17, 19. Services for the following ponds: Flanagan Pond, Pine Meadow Pond, and Sandy Pond. For $3,000 even. And we've all got the,
You said that's the post survey?
Yeah.
yes.
Post-treatment survey.
surveys.
Okay. Yep.
Any discussion?
Is there any reference on that against the full, like what we had
The full,
kind of looked at in total for the season or anything?
no,
Not like, okay.
it's just $3,000.
Okay.
No discussion?
No.
Motion to pay Solitude to the amount of $3,000.
So,
Second.
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Aye. talk about having them come in or contacting them shortly, right?
I believe that's further down in our agenda.
Oh, well, I should have read the agenda more closely. Anything else in accounts payable?
Nope, not that I know of.
Okay. First item this evening is a discussion on filling the Conservation Commission vacancy.
Chair,
Yes, sir.
I will make a motion that we recommend to the selectmen that they appoint Jennifer Ayer to the vacant position.
Second?
All in favor?
So,
So, you, all in favor?
All in favor, aye.
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 So that, I think as clerk, I can send just a letter to Board of Selectmen, or Robert at least, and saying we voted on this, so I'll do that tomorrow.
Thank you.
And that should be on the Board of Selectmen agenda for January 21st.
January 21st. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome. Looking forward to it. We're gonna talk about the associates as well.
Yes, I
We have
was
two.
wondering about what we're doing.
Yeah, we have two candidates for associates, Scott Murray and Kevin Murphy. Correct? Murphy, I got that right?
Yes.
Didn't get it backwards? Would you like to make a motion on?
Move that we request the selectmen appoint Scott Murray and Kevin Murphy as associate members.
Friendly amendment. Should we contact both to ascertain they want that status before we have the Board of Selectmen? Look, if they
Can we vote
select,
on them and then
yeah,
ask?
like, and then put it to the
Okay.
Selectmen if they consent.
Sure.
Okay.
So moved.
Second?
I move.
You move.
Oh, sorry. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You get to learn this.
The steep
Who moves, who
learning
second?
curve. Heaven help you if you make a mistake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tough crowd.
it's all in the meeting minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Next item is a public meeting, RDA for Robert
Or there.
Waver, number 1 Trevor Trail. Not here?
So, not here at the moment, so we just move on to the next one.
Okay. Next item is the public meeting, RDA Ryan Clinton, 71 Nashville Street. Please come forward and join us.
Sure. Should I sit?
Please.
Yes.
All right.
Tell us what you would like to do.
Welcome.
So there's a group of these 3 trees near the rear of our house, and one of them has had the bark stripped pretty significantly and is dead and has been dropping some dried, dead branches. The other one is connected near the base to that tree.
Okay.
And then there's another maple tree right next to the 2 birch trees that I indicated in the photos that's also leaning towards the house. And they're probably within 20 feet of the house.
They'll leave the house.
Yeah. And so we were interested in having those removed.
Oh, I see, yeah. And the maple is located where, I'm sorry? Just right next to them?
Yeah, it's unfortunately a little bit tough to see in the picture. Yeah, so it's a group of 3 trees all within about 5 feet of each other.
Oh, yeah, I see the 3 arrows.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is just right outside the buffer?
Yeah,
Right outside the,
I think my entire property is within 100 feet of wetland, so it's solidly buffer zone.
Were you planning to dig up the roots and everything, or we're just gonna basically chop them at the,
I haven't looked into it too far yet.
okay.
I wasn't sure how much pre-work to do before bringing it to you guys, or honestly, what you guys would suggest is the best approach.
Do you have any issues of leaving the stump, basically?
Nope.
Any discussion?
I believe Joanne indicated she had absolutely no problems with this.
Right. We don't have an issue normally with trees that are endangering the house. It's,
Perfect.
we also appreciate you came to us too.
Of course.
No,
Thank you.
yeah, not always the case.
I'm sure it won't be the first or last time, rather.
Uh-oh.
We have other projects forthcoming.
Repeat offender.
That's right. Exactly.
Any idea what, I mean, the bark that's coming off, like, what's causing it is?
Not a clue. It's been that way since probably last February. I brought it up to the builder, and he just hasn't taken any action on it. There are
The bark
several.
has gone away since you came?
No, it's been gone since last February at least. And there are several other birch trees in the area that
While it
also
was
have.
being built, or?
I'm not sure if it was due to the construction.
Yeah, that's
Um,
what I'm wondering.
There are other birch trees that do have sections of missing bark in the area, just within 500 feet in the woods.
Mhm.
I'm just checking to see if she prepared the DOA by any chance.
The DOA, village you said?
Determination of applicability, not dead on arrival.
Somebody's delegation of authority, so it confuses me when I work.
And
On the back here?
doesn't look like she has got time to yet.
So, any more discussion? Motion to issue a negative determination?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Great, thank you.
The negative is good.
And this- So, will Joanne get in touch?
Yeah, she'll throw it out, she'll let you know when it's either send it to you or you can come pick it up.
Okay. And would the preference be to leave the roots intact in that case?
Yeah, we just basically lop it and leave the stump there.
Okay, great.
Put a plant on it, a pot or something.
Sure.
And you try to get them down as soon as possible, just.
Ideally, prevent any more snow from building up on them, give them any more chance to fall,
Saturday.
So we
if possible.
can't sign it until our next meeting, the 24th, but
That's true.
Yeah,
Okay.
can you go ahead or?
Are you bringing someone in to take them down?
I was thinking about bringing someone in to give me a quote, honestly. So I'm not ready to move ahead that quickly yet.
Okay.
okay.
So I can definitely wait until after it's signed and proper.
Okay.
We'll let you know as soon as possible. You can move ahead.
Fantastic.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Next item this evening, is public meeting RDA Richard and Mary Zola, 69 Nashua Street. It's like a neighborhood party here tonight.
We're on the same boat here.
Tell us what you would like to do.
I would like to put a shed, I think no bigger than 12 by 16 is what I've listed, on the flat portion to the left of my driveway. And I would like to put a fence in the backyard to contain the backyard, but it would be like a aluminum iron fence, you know, like a posted fence that we put together. So I'm concerned. I mean, I don't want to, you know, dig the holes and all that stuff with, and then kind of try to explain to you where the dirt's going and stuff like that. So it's something we pile down and kind of piece together. And the shed would just be, we would just have a foundation on those flat cement that we would build up off the ground. And it's a prefab shed that I'm gonna buy. So we'll just drop it right on top of that. Yeah, and that's it.
So no digging involved at all with the shed and minimal with the fence.
Right. for obvious reasons.
So the shed's gonna be on cinder blocks, basically? Or-
Yeah, but,
or patio blocks or something?
yeah, patio, we'll build them up how we have to do it to make it level.
make it- right.
But yeah,
Yeah, but you're just placing them down on the ground, you're saying?
yeah, I'm not gonna put footings in the ground.
Okay.
Yep.
And then I misunderstood the fence, are you just driving the metal?
Yeah, so,
posts
well,
in?
yeah, so first of all, it's conservation land back that we like to be able to see.
Yeah.
So we wanted something that was like a black iron fence, but probably it'd be aluminum, but that we would drive down and then tie together, not bolt it, but to be, just be
Right.
driving them down into the ground and blah, blah, blah. So we like, most of my neighbors, the builder didn't really do much with the landscaping, so we actually spent about $6,000 to have someone come in and fix it and add some erosion control with some, wood chips for now. But, talking to Joanne, we'll probably put some native, we wanted to put some native plants inside there too, in the wood chips to try and grow up and kind of hold that together. But
Yeah,
And
but
I think
you're not doing post holes and putting concrete down in there and post stuff? Yeah, you're not doing any of that, okay.
no, because it's just too close to, and we want to be able to see out.
Yeah.
We want the view. So
Sure.
we also want to protect the kids and the dog from any type of wildlife because there is some, these foxes and fishing cats, stuff like that. So
Okay, you have down here,
I don't know about that. I don't know about the other way. I'm scared.
this is what you have down here, planting slopes with native shrubs and plants. That's the slope behind,
Yeah. So
on the outside of the fence, is that what you're?
yeah. So there's the fence will be on the not on the slope, obviously. It'll be up top where we have all the grass. We put some foundation of grass down and stuff like that. So that's good. So we're kind of holding the dirt. And then on the other side of the fence, just to hold that together, we wanted to talking to Joanne was a good idea to put some native bushes and shrubs around to kind of hold that together.
So it slopes like down this way, like all the way around?
Yeah, so from here and here, it's all, like right here, you know what I mean? So it's all sloped down.
It all slopes away from the house, right?
Yeah, and,
Okay.
and then this is a drainage thing here, so like
Okay.
right here, it slopes too, there's drainage. So there's a
Swale
French
or
drainage
something.
around this, like dumps into here, goes
Okay.
into here. This is all wood chipped, and then we have like a little drainage that comes out here, and it kind of, when it really rains good, it kind of holds up and then it seeps back down.
Any discussion?
Straightforward.
Straightforward. Motion to issue a negative determination.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Oh, and we
Yeah.
read the lengthy note from your wife.
Oh, there-
Did she do that? I didn't see it. So.
Oh,
In the email, yes. It was in the email, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
email. Yeah, so I don't know if there's anything we can do down the road with our new powers of our new bylaw to hold developers a little more accountable, at least for outside groundwork. But maybe as we delve into regulations, that's something we can look into.
Yeah, well, we have talked about it, the pink gray stuff, right? Maybe trying to move in
Yeah,
the letter direction, at least try and
yeah.
something to that effect.
Well, there's another lot right on top of, like, there's a garage there now that he's trying to develop, so we just wanna make sure that, we've tried to fix the issue, and we don't want another issue, that's all.
No, it doesn't really happen.
Well, we spent a lot of money to fix a problem that we probably shouldn't have to spend money on, so we just wanna make sure that, I guess I didn't read the letter, so I don't know, but maybe they're held accountable, or whoever builds is, in the future, so that's all.
Thanks, Siggy.
We still don't have
Mr.
Boisvert. Boisvert. Say it again?
Okay.
Boisvert?
Boisvert. It's not here, right?
Do we know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Robert Boyer, are we there? Are you here yet?
Let me check outside.
Sure. Thank you. And this is just a.
We just continue and check it out.
No?
We were proceeding swiftly tonight, so maybe. Anyway.
Shaker Mill.
Yeah, next item for this evening is the public hearing, notice of intent, of Shaker Mill Pond.
And Joanne talked to them and we are to continue that to our next meeting. So I have to open it and continue again.
So we're opening the,
Yeah, because we continued it at our last meeting to this meeting, so we have to reopen it and then continue it again.
so we open it and how?
Just announce it.
Yeah.
Public hearing, notice of intent, Shaker Mill Pond. Motion to continue until, what's the date? January 23rd?
Yeah, 23rd.
So moved.
It's the 22nd.
Second. Yeah,
Okay.
because today's the 9th.
Okay.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay.
And we have no file as of yet, right?
Yeah. I'd consider asking what other people are here for.
Sure.
Yeah.
Next time.
People out there in the audience, do you have an issue that you would like to bring up?
I'm just here for the conversation on the docks on Flanagan Pond when you get to that item.
Okay, thank you.
We're just residents of Madigan Lane,
Oh, so air solar
regarding
too.
the solar too.
Yep.
Okay. Solar too.
Okay.
And you?
I'm just here to realize I need hearing aids to hear you. I know you've had
Pick
that
up, John.
before.
I should have had a megaphone surgically implanted in my throat.
Yeah, I'm not a loud talker, I apologize.
No, I was just interested in some of the. just
Items.
listening.
And you, sir, in the back?
Madigan Lane also.
Madigan Lane also.
Okay, great.
They are not here.
Why don't we do the CR?
Okay.
Okay.
This might be a short meeting. So then we have to find it.
To find it, yeah. Next item is a public meeting, purpose of signing a conservation restriction at Colder Place. Did a presentation on Tuesday at the board of selectmen and they voted to sign. Our agent is not here this evening, so we're at,
Well, she's going to be
Yeah,
later.
yeah. so we're,
She's at a DPW workshop on municipal vulnerability preparedness.
Very important.
Well, I think we should probably postpone this one too, till she's here.
Is it not that thick one right there, or that's a solitude, the next one?
The environmental.
Oh,
Okay. Where she put it? Oh, I'm not sure what, I don't really wanna, oh, let me see. Nope. Nope. So, did you see where I got this?
Here's the binder clipped up right under your left hand there on the other side, the middle.
And what with this?
Yeah, it was on the top stuff there. She probably had bound for a reason.
Okay. Wait for Joanne.
Let's see. Can't do the CR.
Okay. Okay. We're ready for you.
We're screaming along here tonight.
Streaming along,
Yes, sir.
okay? If you don't mind, I'll just get one computer and see if I can.
Make sure
Oh,
you
I
ask for
apologize.
everybody's name.
Didn't expect you to stream along quite so quickly.
We didn't either.
Seemed like the agenda was very packed,
No.
so pardon me for just a moment.
No.
Some things are straightforward.
Do we want to hit that last item, since that's what the gentleman's there for? We have the ability to shift around maybe?
Oh, are you Mr. Boy there? No,
No.
no,
This
still.
gentleman here that was for Flanagan Pond stuff, docks and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Chuck, I was just on the pond a while ago, and I just noticed that there are a number of docks that just seem to be abandoned, and I don't know if people are not able to get them out, or just don't care about getting them out, or, I mean, I'm sure you've seen them.
Well, I know because I got one.
Well, yours is still intact, though. It's-
Well, yeah.
Compared to the ones that I'm talking about, where they're just basically down in the water.
Yeah.
And it's not to force people to take their docks out, it's just to offer some assistance if someone wants to get rid of a derelict dock.
My question / concern is my dock, I'll just show you a picture of what it used to look like before you moved it in next door. It was across the whole back of the yard. And the ice just pushed it all up and crushed it. So I dismantled most of it, and I've got a couple of dock legs that were there. And honestly, I know this was built before there were issues regarding conservation restrictions.
Sure. Yep.
I have no idea what I am permitted to do in regards to repair. I don't want to be taking on a nightmare in regards to permitting costs and all this other stuff. So I just don't have a clue. So when I saw this on the agenda, I said, well, this is a good segue to kind of pose the questions that how does someone with, I'll call it a grandfathered structure, how do they proceed to actually maintain it without tripping some kind of chaotic cascade of regulations and fines, etc. So
Yeah.
I figured pose that question, see if I get some guidance, and since this was on topic.
Most of the docks weren't nearly as extensive as what you show in that photograph. They're just a normal stick out in the pond structure that has been abandoned. And as far as guidance on what you can do as far as rebuilding that structure,
Oh, and I'm not talking about rebuilding the two pieces that are left.
the pieces that are left.
Yeah. Otherwise, I've saved 90% of the lumber that's stacked in my yard, and I was thinking of actually building some of it as a floating dock, on flotation stuff with just a ramp out to it, rather than have it built in like that was. But I still have two pieces that are physically in the ground that need some maintenance, but I just don't have a clue with today's regulations what's permissible or not, or whether I would be kind of just tripping something that you have to dismantle them and remove them. So I think I'd pose the question since this was on the agenda.
So you don't want to take them out?
No, I'd like to rebuild them. And if it means getting somebody out there to kind of take a peek at them and tell me what need, obviously this is not the time of the year, you know? But, you know, if it makes sense to get somebody out there in, you know, late April, early May, tell me what is permissible or not, if I have to come here for a meeting or give you some drawings or something. But right now, I don't have a clue where to go with that.
I don't know about structures being grandfathered as a dock.
Yeah, I think like on Sandy, it would have been like all the other ones you said that were built into those deeded ones, like, right? I don't know how it is at Flanagan.
Yeah, on Sandy Pond, it's the dock license, you have to do it through us in the state, although we can't do it anymore. Because the state created an impossible condition.
With the old, that was the great bond, right?
Right,
Right, yeah.
But you don't need a license on Flanagan.
right.
But do I need a building permit? Do I need some kind, I mean, theoretically, nowadays, if you build things, you need to be worried about setbacks from the wetlands and all this other stuff. I have no idea how that works for something that's already there.
It's actually very confusing.
And I think if you're working on an existing structure, we'd probably just be interested in how much disturbance is gonna occur during the work.
I can't even do it under cover of darkness now because the chairman's next door.
I go to bed pretty early. Yeah, if you want to pursue it, then I guess just get a plan of what you want to do.
Okay.
And come back to us. We'll just take a look at it and give you some recommendations.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah, depending on what your plan is, yeah, maybe we'll come out to a quick site visit, just take a quick look at it and see what it looks
Okay.
like. But yeah, kind of get a feel for what you're thinking you might want to do.
All right. Yeah, definitely have no plans to rebuild the entire 60-foot wide thing that was there. That's obviously, but you know, I still have the pipes in the ground, which I probably remove if we're not going anywhere with those. Or I left them in case there was an issue of that being, no pun intended, a stake in the ground to rebuild the old foundation for that dock. But,
Yeah.
I'll put some sketches together and I'll plan on coming back in the spring.
Yeah, I don't want that dock to go away because I love the canoe with the lights on it.
It's no Christmas tree this year.
And I think our main point of interest is what would you be doing where you hit the ground in the water, any sort of disturbance?
Yeah, well, actually, the ground was, when the original dock was, and I'm not trying to take over this meeting, but it was on the agenda. The original framing of the dock, was built like a wall where those posts are. And the previous builder backfilled it with the same stuff that was in, it was basically the slop from the mud from the pond.
Yep.
So when that wall collapsed, basically the same topsoil that was the base of the pond just went right back where it was.
Yes.
It's not the yard, it's not a gloom, it's not whatever.
Okay. Yep.
All right.
If you get an idea what you'd like to do.
I'll put together a couple sketches and dimensions and I'll revisit this. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming in. Yes, sir. Please come up.
Do we have the use of the screen tonight?
Do you know how to do it?
I don't know if there's a controller here. Got the thumb drive. Thank you.
Can we get the names of everyone that's involved here, please?
Of course. Just drive over here.
that what you need?
Yep.
I'll put that up below, it'll sit right up on that shelf.
Are you ready for us, Mr. Chair?
Please.
Okay. Good evening. I'm Adam Costa, COSTA.
Thank you.
Represent Ayer Solar 2. Gentlemen, want to introduce yourselves?
Yep, my name's Cal Goldsmith. I'm principal at Goldsmith Preston Ringwall here in Ayer. We're the engineers for Ayer Solar 2.
Kyle Burchard with GPR, also the site engineer.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So we are before you tonight with a proposed amendment to an order of conditions. I understand that there has been a bit of a changeover in the commission since 2017, which was when this project was last before the commission.
Couple times.
Yes. And so what we had hoped to do tonight, before we even get into the particular details of the proposed amendment, was for these gentlemen to just briefly describe what was proposed and ultimately what was approved by the commission back in July of 2017. And then, of course, we'll highlight the changes. My understanding from correspondence through your agent over the course of the past couple of weeks is that the objective of tonight's meeting was for you to review this and specifically review it with respect to DEP policy 85-4, which gives commissions, as you know, the discretion, if they so choose, to process changes either as insubstantial changes, still with a process that involves a public hearing and review, or to require the submittal of a new notice of intent. From our perspective, because of the nature of these modifications, we thought that they qualified as exactly that, modifications that would probably more easily be processed through the policy as opposed to with a new notice of intent filing. And so we'd like the opportunity to discuss that with the commission tonight and to answer any questions that you have. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that the reason that we're back before you, just to provide a little bit of history, is in addition to requesting an order of conditions through a notice of intent filing back in 2017, we also sought site plan approval from the planning board. And we were before the planning board for a number of months. We received that site plan approval. That site plan approval was not appealed. But following that site plan approval, we had an A&R plan, an approval not required plan, endorsed by the planning board in an effort to combine portions of the property and separate out another portion of the property just to better configure it for the purposes of our solar development. That A&R plan was appealed by residents, nearby residents of the adjacent neighborhood. And we spent the better part of a year and a half now in litigation. We entered into settlement discussions. At this point, I guess it was 5 months ago. And as a consequence of those settlement discussions, we achieved a settlement agreement. And that settlement agreement contemplated two things. One was going back to the planning board to seek permission for certain modifications to the approved site plan. And the other, of course, is because those modifications include certain changes to the roadway, in particular, the driveway accessing the site, coming back to the Conservation Commission. So I do see, and I'm sure you'll open it up when the time is right. I do see a few residents of the neighborhood here in attendance tonight, and presumably supporting this proposal. But again, we're here pursuant to that settlement agreement in an effort to try and make happen what the abutters have asked for and what we think results in a better project for them, for us, and for the town. So with that, I'll turn it over to Cal and Kyle, and they can describe the project and some of the changes.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. So as Adam said, we were before this commission for some 4 or 5 months back in 2017, from April to late July of 2017, with a notice of intent for this project. And I thought it was worth reviewing just so that the members of the commission that were not here throughout that process, I know Jess and George were, but you two gentlemen were not, so and Joanne was not. So I think it's worth reviewing what the project entails and what we were asked to do as part of that approval process. The first piece of it is the driveway entrance itself, which comes off of Washington Street. It's at the eastern end of the property. Maybe I should talk to this while Kyle is showing that. So at the eastern end of the property, in this area, if you've been out there, there's a fairly steep slope right off the road. There is a cart path that roughly follows along this same general area now. And so what we'd be doing was taking that cart path, widening it, making it a little more shallow, and but the biggest piece of it is because we've got to widen it, we've got to deal with stormwater management on that cart path. So this is a fairly complicated section of driveway and drainage improvements, and Kyle will talk a little bit about that when he gets up to talk about more specifics. But this was looked at very carefully. There's a steep embankment here that has to be dealt with fill, compacted fill. We've got guardrails along here. As I said, there's stormwater management all along this driveway. There's an intermittent stream that serves as a drainage area coming out of this subdivision. We've got a crossing where the stream actually comes under the existing cart path, and then we had to route it under our proposed driveway. And then there's wetlands replication occurring in here. There's some storage for stormwater mitigation under the roadway itself. So it's a very complex piece of engineering that went into doing all this. And the commission asked that we review that. The commission asked to get a peer reviewer in to look at that. The commission also asked the peer reviewer to look at our wetland line, to look at our replication areas, and in general, look at what we proposed and whether it met the standards that we were purporting that it did. So this was very thoroughly reviewed. None of this is changing. We're not doing anything different on this entrance all the way down to about this area here past where the stream crossing is. So the sensitive area is the complex piece of this that was peer reviewed, that we went back and forth for a number of months on, is staying exactly the same. We haven't proposed any changes to that whatsoever. Similarly, the bulk of the project, the solar, is all back in this area here. That was reviewed as well. We proposed a buffer area for tree clearing, or not tree clearing, up in this area here, stormwater management here along the driveway to manage that, which then discharges into a wetlands area. Right here, you can see this dashed line. This is the edge of the wetlands coming around right here, and as it follows over into here. So we're discharging after it's been treated down the slope and into this wetlands area here. We also had stormwater management features here, here, and here for the solar field. Now, the solar field, just to give you a little background on that, the solar panels are impervious, but they don't sit on the ground. They sit above the ground. So when you take a whole bunch of solar panels, even if they're stacked 2 or 3 high, there's spaces in between them. So the drainage from the solar panels basically hits the ground in about the same pattern that it does naturally, that the rain would land on it. Where we need so we're not mitigating for the imperviousness of the solar panels. What we're mitigating for is the fact that when we cut down the trees that are in here and plant grass in that area, that grass absorbs at a different rate than the trees do. So the grass is considered less pervious than the treed area would be. So we have to provide additional groundwater mitigation or stormwater mitigation for that solar field, which is what these items are. And then, as I said, the driveway coming along here, this is stormwater for the driveway itself. So we went through that whole thing. The commission also asked us to look at to conduct a habitat study. They wanted to know the value of the wetlands in this area, because there is some filling occurring in here, less than 5,000 square feet, but there's still fill involved in building this. And the commission wanted to know what the habitat value of that was. As well, they wanted to know about this intermittent stream, what the habitat value of that intermittent stream is. That report is in your files. It was done by, is in a report dated June 23rd of 2017, done by Oxbow Associates, a well-regarded environmental firm in the area. And they concluded basically that there was little habitat value in here, that the stream is 1 to 4 inches high. It has sand and gravel in the bottom of it. And their conclusion was that it didn't provide really any habitat value, any wintering, overwintering, shelter, or anything else. So that it wasn't an area to be concerned with. Now, that doesn't mean we don't have to mitigate what we filled, we definitely do. But that was looked at, so we looked at that stream crossing as well. So we had a fairly comprehensive review. We went back and forth for a number of months until the commission was satisfied that we covered the bases, and then they issued their order of conditions to us. I'm gonna let Kyle talk a little bit, but just in general, I'll give you a little background. When we were talking with the abutters, their houses are in these areas here. This one's shown, but they're not shown right here. Their major concern was there wasn't enough buffer space between the field and their houses and between this driveway, which is gonna cut a swath of woods through the woods and their individual houses. So there's really nothing we could do about this. We could cut this back some, which we did, and you'll see that in the new proposal. But it also involves relocating this driveway away from this property line, which by its very nature then means that we're getting closer to the wetlands down here.
Right.
And that's basically what this proposal is. So changes up here are just making this smaller for the most part. A little bit of changes in the buffer space that's being provided. But the big change is the rerouting of this driveway. So from here to here, that portion of the project is really what this amendment is concerned with. Okay. And in this portion of it, this was really a fairly, from a conservation standpoint, a fairly innocuous portion of driveway. We weren't in the buffer zones. With that, we were created, except for this discharge and in this, a little bit of this driveway is in the outer edge of the buffer zone. For the most part, we tried to stay out of the buffer zones as we normally would do if we have that choice. But you'll see, because of the concerns of the abutters, we've now agreed to relocate it closer to the wetlands, which is further, as I said, further away from their houses, which is obviously desirable from their standpoint. And so now it's a matter of designing this new section of driveway. And that's basically what Kyle's gonna present to you in a little more detail, since he is the design engineer and he did all the design work on it. Kyle, why don't you take it
So we have compiled a comparison drawing to make it a little easier to see what's what, going from the previous design to the current design proposed as the amendment. So up on the screen and mirrored there on that is the original design that's basically in a orange reddish kind of color, and then the proposed design, which is in a green color. So everything along the driveway coming in is the same, and then there is the point of curvature. As Cal mentioned, there, because of the 4,400 square feet or so of wetland impact, there are two wetland restoration areas, one on either side of the crossing. The proposed change starts with the road once it passes the intermittent stream crossing to kind of wrap a little tighter around the second wetland application area. It comes down, as you see, a shift down the slope. There's no additional resource area impacts from this shift. With the shift of the driveway comes a shift of the stormwater management basin that does the bulk of the mitigation for not only our project, it also helps to control the uncontrolled discharges from the abutting subdivision. So we have then a shift of the road that comes down, a shift of the basin that comes down, and what that achieves is, per the agreement of the settlement, is that there is now a more consistent width of existing trees that are to remain adjacent to the abutters, between the abutters and the proposed driveway. So what ends up happening is it's very close to an apples to apples equivalent for the storm drainage and mitigation. On the 2-year event, there's still no change. On the 10-year event, there is a slight reduction of the reduction. We were 1.8 CFS below the existing with our previous proposed condition. Now we're at minus 1.4 CFS below that condition. But at the 100-year storm, we're actually detaining quite a bit more. We only were less than CFS reduction, but with the 100-year storm, now we're at minus 9 CFS. It's a factor of the shape of the basin. It's a little bit different. The stage storage condition of it in that location improves that. It's a little bit shallower to account for that. Working with the topography as best we can there. And so that's what completes the picture for stormwater management. The basins that Cal pointed out around the solar farm itself are essentially the same. To the north end, adjacent to the abutters, the basins that were up there had to shift away as the clearing of trees shifted away from them. So that's a little bit different. There, again, against the abutters, some of the panels were pulled back in order to allow for additional existing buffer forest to remain between the project and the abutters. There was some consideration given on the southeast side of this solar arrays to engage in what will eventually be a habitat creation to top some of the trees that are in the buffer, making more habitat for woodpeckers and allowing for more understory growth to come up as there's pretty high canopy that then kind of shields the seeds and so on that have fallen over the years in the forest mat will then allow that to grow up, creating a thicker buffer in the area. So that is really the essence of the changes. It does move closer to the wetlands, not impacting the wetlands. It does encroach further into the buffer. And so we're closer, but the amount of clearing is essentially the same for the same access driveway. So that is really where the design took it, based on the agreement made with the abutters.
So I'd just like to add a couple things. He was talking about the CFS reduction. I don't know how well versed you folks are being new to the commission, so I'll just go through it real quickly. If we've got a duty when we're designing this project or any other project, subject to a notice of intent, we need to keep the drainage off the property, coming off the property, to be less than or equal to what comes off the property on pre-construction conditions. Mm-hmm. So when Kyle's talking about a reduction of 9 CFS, what he's talking about is during the peak flow off of the area that we've changed, that we've altered by cutting trees and building the roadway and the drainage and whatnot, we're controlling that stormwater to the analysis point, which I believe is the edge of the wetlands, is probably what we took as the analysis point, so that the flow that reaches the wetlands during the peak flow is less than or equal, at worst, equal to what happens today. So that's how the basin design is, how the basin is sized, how the design works.
What is
to make,
CSF?
CFS is cubic feet per second. Cubic feet per second. So that's a measure of rate of flow of water. So a 9 CFS reduction is a pretty substantial reduction in the amount of stormwater. And it's not that it doesn't get there, because it does eventually get there either by infiltration into the ground or by flowing out of the outlet from the basin, but it gets there at a slower rate than what would happen during a rainstorm. So that then reduces downstream flooding impacts, it reduces erosion potential and things like that nature. So that's what he was talking about, and what governs the sizing of the basins itself. The other thing I'll say is the panels that are in red are actually removed from the project. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, there was somewhat of a shift.
We shifted it around to try and get some.
Overall, there's a net reduction in the amount of panels.
So it's shifted a little bit from where it was.
Panel reduction or how many megawatt reduction? What do you?
That I don't
It's-
have the
it's-
number.
It's roughly a 1 megawatt project, so,
It's smaller than that.
yeah, it's way smaller than that. It's what is it, percentage of 10% maybe? Do you know?
Yes, about
5%?
15% reduction, 10 to 15% reduction.
So it's a 10 to 15% reduction in the power production from the site.
Roll 5 on that.
And solar panels are very sensitive to shading. And so when we're talking about topping trees and creating that habitat value, the reason for doing that is to keep the canopy down low coming from the east and the south. We don't have to do it in the south because we've got wide open spaces from the south, but from that eastern edge, having those trees up high, canopy really casts shading across the array, but rather than clear that area, it's better just to top those pine trees, and then you're going to allow the understory to grow up, and eventually it'll catch up pretty close to where it was, but it's going to take 20 years to do it or something.
The expectation that there'd be consistent maintenance with that, so 15, 20 years down the road, they get topped again?
Depends on what grows up. I think if it's hardwoods, they're not going to get as tall, and it probably wouldn't happen that way, but the forest is a pine forest in that area. A lot of it is pine, not all of it, but a lot of it's pine. So I don't think you're going to see the same pine.
Do you have a rough idea how tall stuff is there that's already there?
Well,
60, 80 feet.
it
maybe.
varies because the slope drops off fairly sharply there. So, that topping
Towards the lines, towards the transmission lines, I mean, it slopes off pretty.
It slopes
towards
to
the wetlands.
to the
And
east.
This head of wetlands that's here, we start up on a plateau where the solar array is proposed, and then the grade drops off fairly precipitously down to this lower wetland area.
And that is a wooded wetland area as well.
It is.
But we're not topping anything that's inside the 50 foot, right? 25 foot.
Well, we
Oh,
had proposed.
If I read it, I thought it said essentially the
Right.
We had
150
proposed-
you're gonna stump, right?
Well, no. So there's two areas. One is just immediately outside the fence line of the array where they would be cut down to grade
Right.
outside the 50 foot, but not stumped. So the forest mat is still there on the ground. And that will require periodic maintenance to clear off woody debris that's starting to get kind of tall. Inside the 50-foot buffer, that is where the 50-foot topping would be essentially from the grade that's up high at the array. There has to be some careful work to do that. In the existing order conditions, there is an environmental monitor that was specified to be on site, documenting, reporting back to the commission every step of the way, every week at least, for what was happening on the project. The existing order of conditions is very thorough in the protection of the resources that are on the project and essentially wouldn't change with what we're proposing. However, there could be some additional adjustment to make sure that the tree topping area would be, carefully handled as the commission would see fit. But everything else in the order conditions is very carefully worded to protect the resources as it stands, and conceivably wouldn't change in order to address this shift of the driveway and the drainage. That's where we see it at the moment. But just clarification on that buffer on the southeast side of the array. First, an area of low cutting but not stumping, and then the topping.
So where you have the low cutting in the original plan, was there even low cutting there before?
Yes, there was. Yes, this up to the 50-foot buffer, there was the low cutting and not stumping.
And our experience has been on other projects that when you do that, you get a very prolific growth. Like by maintaining the forest floor the way it was and not grading, not pulling out stumps,
Right.
you get quite a growth coming up.
And what's the percent reduction in megawatt generation from what you're seeing as the shading that's required in the topping?
I don't have those numbers.
So when you look at the megawatts, it's not actually megawatts, it's production at that point. So it's not the size of the project, it's how much actually production, because at that point, the shading is it's actually shading your panels. And so
Right.
therefore, when the panels are shaded, therefore you're not getting the production.
Right, so over a
Right, so-
24-hour period, instead of generating
X.
100 megawatt hours, you're doing what?
Right, so, I think that one was, I think that's when you're asking about the 10-15%, that was the number that we were giving for that side, from a production perspective.
Well, but that's a 10% reduction in panels installed.
Oh, so
Has
you're
nothing to do with the
panels.
shading of the panels.
So from a panel perspective, I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Yeah, no, from a panel perspective, you said it's 10 to 15% reduction in
So,
the number of
from a-
panels being installed.
Yeah, so panels in production, I think we, with the way we were able to move stuff around with the abutters,
Yeah.
we were able to, I think, have a little less than 10%, but the production wise has gone down, it went further percentage wise, because we're closer to the transmission lines.
At least
and so
10%.
forth, which is, huh?
I said it's at least 10%.
Yes, at least 10, it's more than
And I guess
10%,
when I was-
because you're closer to the transmission lines, you're closer to the tree line, you get more of that. So even though
What
the
is,
top of the trees.
what's being closer to transmission lines have to do with anything?
Well, the transmission lines just tree shade as
They
well.
actually
Believe it or not, they do.
No, they,
I mean, but also it's just because of that wetlands, it's all wooded wetlands, so we're closer to the wooded wetland area.
When you look at the towers.
Right, right, and I guess that's, again, that's my point of my question. So because of the new location of the panels, you're saying you're gonna need to top more trees. How much is the decrease in your production in this solar field that the tree topping is requiring you to do, right? So what sort of reduction are you seeing?
So I'm putting an estimate, I don't know the exact number.
All right, I'd like to have at least
Okay,
somebody's back of the envelope kind of thought process
And we-
calculation.
no
of it.
problem.
And we certainly can. We had to, without getting into the details of settlement negotiations or discussions, we had to run those numbers internally when we were in the midst of those discussions to determine what we could do with respect to potential reduction of the size of the project, shifting of panels, to try and satisfy the concerns that some of the neighbors had raised. And so we did a lot of those back of the envelope calculations already, so I'm sure we could look back at what we had done in the context of settlement, and we can get you the specific numbers for sure.
Well, just for the record, that's Rohit Garg, who you were talking to, who is the principal on the project. Prometheus.
Sorry.
Prometheus Solar.
What's the name again, please?
Rohit, Rohit, Garg, Garg.
Got it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that's from, you said Prometheus? or-
Prometheus Solar.
In terms of work in the buffer zone, what's the difference in the number of square footage between the original order of conditions and, yeah, so basically this is saying in the, no change in the 0 to 50 foot wetland buffer impact, is that correct?
No, BVW.
BVW impact.
Yeah.
No change in BVW, okay, so that's the
Yeah.
wetlands,
Yep,
okay.
yep.
Yeah.
And then
Kinda
in the
tell it.
50 to 100 foot buffer zone, your impact goes up 19,000 square feet.
that's right.
And in the,
50 to 100 foot, that goes up 24,000 square feet.
okay, I'm looking, okay, so that's about 35,000,
Or it's over 43,000 something.
of new impact to the buffer zone.
Mhm.
So I think I would suggest before we go further in discussing the plans, we have to first consider whether this would be accepted as an amendment versus a new order of conditions. So, rather than go further on that at this point.
So I have a couple of questions or comments. I think if we do a notice of intent or if we do an amendment, it's still a public hearing process. It's the same process we go through, right? As far as the public hearing goes, as far as the presentation of plans and all the rest of it. I think from that standpoint, there's no difference. Is that correct?
The notification in the newspaper is the same, the notification of the butters is the same, opening a new public hearing is the
Right.
same. What parts of the project can be looked at are very different.
So my understanding is it's pretty much at your discretion what you
So-
want to look at in either case. But from our standpoint, our focus is on everything that's changed. I mean, that's what we'd like you to consider and like you to limit our discussion to, because we've been through months and months and months of already having done the really difficult piece of it, which is that entrance roadway. Certainly, any of the changes that we've made, any of the roadway changes, all the rest of it, I think that'll be the focus of. I'm hoping that'll be the focus of our either new notice of intent or an amended notice of intent, whichever, as we go forward.
The reason that we advocated for the amendment process is exactly as explained. We recognize in other contexts, planning boards, zoning boards, comprehensive permits, there's a real advantage to pursuing an amendment versus submitting a new application. Very often the amendments don't require public hearings, abutters don't get notice, appeal rights are limited. So applicants would, as you might imagine, much prefer an amendment to a new application. The difference isn't that great in the order of conditions context, because this is only a DEP policy and isn't even something that's a part of the regulations. It's at your discretion. But the DEP policy provides, after it affords you that discretion, for a recommended process that, as Cal explained, is a process procedurally that's not that different than the actual notice of intent filing. It's still the public hearing, it's still the notice that precedes it, the abutters get notice. Frankly, we don't care, we provided the abutters notice anyway. They're here, they're part of this process because it's the consequence of a settlement negotiation. Our objective, of course, was not to reinvent the wheel and go back and be spending meeting after meeting, dollar after dollar on revisiting the entrance, revisiting what you see there for the first 50, 100 or more feet, or revisiting substantial portions of the actual solar field itself, which were all vetted before. And again, we'd rather not do it a second time. It's always challenging, and we had this discussion amongst ourselves in the course of our settlement discussions and negotiation. It's always challenging making the decision to come back before a board when you have a permit in hand. We had a permit in hand. We have a permit in hand from 2017. It's a valid order of conditions. We recognize that we're coming back to you and we're showing you a proposal that I'm sure from your perspective is not as great as what we started with. We're getting, we're deeper into the wetland buffer, and that's probably not preferred. With any project, it's a balancing act. Most projects require permitting for at least 2 municipal boards if you've got wetlands in the site, Conservation Commission and typically a zoning or a planning board approval. Sometimes you're balancing zoning board requirements, zoning bylaw requirements, setbacks and such, and that requires you to place a driveway or a structure, maybe not as far from wetlands as you'd like. In this case, we're not quite struggling with those requirements because we meet them, but we're struggling with trying to satisfy neighbors who, rightly or wrongly, have concerns about the project and its proximity to their houses, and specifically the driveway. And so this is the best we could do through settlement discussions, and so we appreciate you considering it.
Any other discussion from the commission? George?
We had the peer review before. Do we want to bring our peer reviewer back to look at this? Do you object?
I wouldn't object to bringing a peer, in fact, probably the same guy, because he's familiar with the project, and have him look at the rest of what we're changing, sure, if you wanted to do that.
Okay. And no matter which way we go, we need a sidewalk, so maybe if we had the sidewalk earlier than later, that would help the process.
Sure. Preferably not with 2 feet of snow. We're doing good so far.
Yeah.
Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm free Sunday morning.
Well, my own feeling is, we had an issue with another request for an amendment to an order of conditions a couple of years ago with Fingry Hill. And our advice from DEP was to use a standard if it's the same or less impact on the buffer zone and resource area, the amendment is appropriate. If it's greater impact, we should consider a new notice of intent. I also noticed the letter we had from Natural Heritage, Fish and Wildlife, assumed that we'd be asking for a new notice of intent. And with an increase in buffer zone impact of over 40,000, and I think last time we decided we didn't want to set a precedent of making this an easy process to go from big change, for substantial changes. So my own feeling was I probably prefer to see a new note, this done under a new notice of intent.
Mark?
Yeah, I guess right at the moment, I'm probably leaning very much towards Jess's same situation, or same position. I think it's pretty substantial change, and again, unfortunately, I was not here initially, but I appreciate the nice layout, because it does help put it together pretty quickly, and I guess in my mind, it's in my mind very substantial, and I'd probably be leaning towards a brand new notice of intent too.
Joanne? Yeah.
I think that it's a substantial change.
Well, I mean, the other thing is, what would be probably focusing on primarily the area you're changing from the previous plan. There's the question of, do those changes in that area have a different effect on the areas beyond that as well, in terms of impact? So that I'd rather, we can look at under a new notice of intent, but we can't look at the impact on areas outside that are staying the same. We can't look at the changed impact from the area that's changing under an amendment.
Okay, I mean,
Yep.
you know, we think that the driveway portion of that's pretty straightforward, and you'll see that as we get into the process, but it's, you know, we acknowledge it's at your discretion which way you wanna go.
We like to look.
Most commissions do. Either way, you'll be looking, so that's all right.
That's right.
I would like to request, if I could, obviously, as I alluded to before, you know, part of our desire for the less formal process or the amendment process was just to keep the ball rolling and keep the process moving, and again, not to have to reinvent the wheel. I appreciate it's at the commission's discretion, and if you choose to require a new filing of a notice of intent, that's fine. I would like to think that maybe we could establish a process where even upon the filing of the notice of intent, you can engage your peer review consultant and get the review of the changes underway so that we can make good progress even at that first meeting. We'll obviously provide, you'll provide, or require us to provide notice to the abutters, and we would provide them with informal notice anyway. But if we can begin, hit the ground running at that first session of the public hearing, particularly where this is a project that's been reviewed once already, it at least, keeps, as I said, keeps that sort of proverbial ball rolling and allows us to continue to make progress.
It's our usual, wish to keep things moving.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Can I open this up to any comments from the people in the audience? Please come forward.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Kevin Morgan. I'm one of the abutters, 16 Mannequin Lane. I've pretty much been the spokesperson for the abutters in this whole project. And some of us are here this evening. We are here in support of this request for an amendment.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else? No? Then we need to schedule a site walk. I'm sorry.
No, but on that issue, we're getting temperatures in the 60s this weekend.
Correct.
And rain, which I imagine should clear things, should clear a fair amount.
There's not much on the ground now anyway.
No, and what's there is solid ice, as we discovered this morning.
Next couple of days it'll
Soften right up.
pretty much be gone.
Yep.
So, can we schedule a walk sooner than later?
A week from Saturday.
The 18th?
So January 18th.
I'm actually not going to be here that weekend.
At all.
Next
Not that you can't go without me. I think it'd be better to have your perspective be clear.
I couldn't do it this weekend.
What about this weekend? Well,
Well, we'd need the changed area staked, right?
Yeah.
It's only Thursday.
I can almost guarantee we wouldn't get that staked by tomorrow.
And the ice won't be gone.
True.
Yeah.
We could probably have it roughly flagged, but enough to facilitate a sidewalk, but we wouldn't be able to stake the center line.
When are you available, Joanne?
I'm generally available. We're just going to be in New York the weekend of MLK Day.
So the next one would be the 25th, but I'm just checking long-range forecast.
We're not gonna get that lucky. It'd be a guess, but maybe.
It's highly likely I won't be available. 25th.
So maybe we should do the 18th.
I could make the 18th. I can't. Neither Kyle nor I can do this weekend because we're both gone, but I could do the following weekend.
When can you be back in town in an afternoon?
What do you mean?
During the week?
Oh, during the week?
Yeah. The days are getting longer.
A little bit.
Every little bit.
Every little bit helps. I know it's like 2 minutes a day. But
Yeah.
I watch it.
I'll take it.
Too. Yeah.
So in a week it'll be 10 minutes longer. It's very
It helps.
It does.
Or first thing in the morning? Something like really early?
Hold
No.
on a second.
No.
We'll just say currently long-range, which means squat. The Saturday, the 18th, they're forecasting 1 to 3 inches of snow in the morning, and another 1 to 3 that night.
Just walking around snow. That's
It is January.
Yeah, next week's really bad.
Well,
18.
18th,
18th.
9 o'clock.
Yes, sir. So what we've done in the past is we've parked at the turnout on the power lines and then walked down the sidewalk and into the site because there's really no place to park right at the site, so.
Okay, very good.
Thank you very much. Do you need extra copies of these? I got 11 by 17, just need some more copies.
No, Kyle brought us all 11 by 17s and brought an extra. We got 2 full size. I think we planned that.
Flooded in.
Yeah.
You can't
Sorry.
really-
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much.
Thanks for your time, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
We'll just go have. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
8 or 9 a.m.?
9
9.
o'clock.
You could go out with, you can go out. You maybe the 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
Yep.
How you doing? Good to see you. Get back close. No.
Sorry. Just getting to be a bad time.
Don't forget to
year.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was just.
We're trying to get together.
How you doing?
Alright, so we will do the RDA now.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Bonner wasn't here and then we were looking for the CR. Yeah, it's in here.
You didn't look there.
Sorry.
I didn't want to leave it on the table because it's like you're
No,
being
that's fine.
talking.
You know what, I was gonna say, maybe it's in the box, but I said, nah, that's not worth it.
I didn't even see the box.
The next item. Yes, yeah. The next item this evening is going to be a public meeting, RDA, Robert Ayer. Say that for me, please. How do you say your
I don't
name?
even know how to pronounce it.
Why?
Well, you're probably better than us.
Boisvert, Beauvais, Boisvert.
Voice.
All right.
Just don't call you late for supper?
Yeah.
Right.
Anything that begins with a B. Should have been changed to Greenwood a long time ago.
How's it going?
So the room cleared out.
It did clear out. Yeah. So you are here for a pool, a shed, and a fence.
Yeah. That makes sense, yeah.
And you had a question about the fence, Jim?
Right, because we don't have the fence shown on the plan.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if the new rectangle where you're showing the pool is actually
Yeah,
fence outside the pool.
I guess I didn't realize I needed to show the fence. So the fence is gonna hug the pool pretty tight. Probably less than 10 feet to the rear, and about 3 feet front, and about 15, 20 feet to the right, and 15 feet, 20 feet to the left. So, I mean,
Another rectangle around the pool essentially.
yeah,
Okay.
And what type of a fence?
I think, because of the restrictions today, it'll probably be a black chain link fence, just posts in the ground, and,
Dug and set in cement, or what is your?
I think, I'm doing, I got a quote from Reliable Fence, and they just dig and tamp down.
They don't cement.
They don't cement, but, I mean, if you want it cemented, we can.
No, I was just curious. What you planning on
I'm
doing?
pretty sure they just put them deep enough so they're solid. The ground around there is pretty stable, not like sand. I mean, they may end up putting cement, but should I note it somehow?
I'm just curious as to how you're gonna dig a hole and how big they're gonna be.
Oh, yeah, so the one that I did 20-something years ago by them, I mean, all they do is they auger about, maybe 5 inches, 6 inches to make it so that they can put the post in. It's about 3 inches. And then set the post in backfill, either with cement or with natural fill. So it's not much movement at all.
There won't be too much dirt coming down the hole.
Oh, yeah, right.
They would have to, I would think it has to be cement, because they gotta have like the corner post up at least, because then they gotta.
Yeah, the corner is probably more likely to have cement.
The chain link.
Sure.
So they gotta.
It's really lightweight.
In the corner ones.
Yeah, it's very likely the corners would be, and maybe the gates.
Gate type post, man gate, whatever.
Yep.
But, the amount of disturbance when the fence gets put in, I think is pretty minimal. I didn't realize, like I said, I didn't realize that the fence was a concern, but I can see how if any dirt were moving is a concern, right?
Right, that's exactly it.
And the dirt that's removed from the hole, you're moving around.
Right, we got some backfilling. I don't know if you've been to the neighborhood, but we got some backfilling to do in front of the wall, in the back of the wall, I mean. So it's about the same square footage of dirt that's coming out of the hole that's gonna go to backfill the front of the house where the wall is.
And a little bit that comes out of the post holes is.
The post holes will probably be the same. As a point of note, the rear of the house has really not been finished by the contractor. So it's kind of a war zone back there, and, unfortunate for me, when it softens up, as I'm walking, it's like, there's no seeds that have been established, and it hasn't even been final graded on the left and right corners of the disturbed area, so we got kind of a mess going on right now. And the spring will be even worse.
Are they gonna come back and work on that?
It's in the plans. They were supposed to do it this year, but, or this past year, but it just didn't happen. And, without going negative, I'll just say that, I'm hopeful that I don't have to go legal to try to get it done. But,
Who's
kind
the
of upsetting.
developer, just to have on camera?
Pardon
Who's
me?
the developer?
Yeah, it's Seal Harbor.
Seal Harbor.
You know, it's the whole neighborhood is Seal Harbor. So, I mean, I'm hopeful that they step up and do me at least something reasonable, and I'll take it from there and rake it out and make it nice, you know, hopefully, after they finish, because I know it's not gonna be, it's not gonna be a premium job.
To get back there with a piece of machinery to dig that hole is gonna tear it up again, right?
Yeah, the access is gonna be from Pleasant Street. So it's really behind the area of the, it's still within the silt fence, but it's behind the area that we would probably do a lawn at this time, maybe in the future. But at this time, that would probably be an area that would be left alone, so it's not gonna make that part's not gonna make a big mess.
You'll just leave it natural.
Yeah. I mean, we have a lot of plantings that we'll be doing, to try to stabilize some of the stuff that's loose.
Yeah, I see you have a number of hemlocks proposed to put in.
Yeah, I mean, I've learned my lesson, doing hemlocks and pines on my previous house, and I realized how much nicer a hemlock is than a white pine. So if I could go back in time, I'd do hemlocks on the last development. They're just so much nicer and less messy, and they don't grow so huge. So, I mean, I'm sure you guys know all of the plantings that are the stuff that's nice. I would think that hemlock is probably among the ones you'd choose.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, they grow big but not huge, and they provide a lot of water leaving the soil, and they just look nice, and there's low maintenance.
They can get big.
Yeah.
Yep, give them 300 years.
How tall is what is big on a scale for you guys?
Oh, I've seen them 80 feet at least.
Really? That high? Yeah.
They're pretty slow growing though.
They are.
Yeah, the one I had in my yard, I'm gonna say was probably 20 feet tall, at the very tip.
Yeah.
And it was amazing how nice it was. And if I would've planted, 5 or 6 of those, I'd have been all set.
And you have a shed that you wanna just put on blocks?
Right, it's either gonna be on blocks, or I was gonna pour a slab and set it on the slab. But it's on the 200 square foot size, but it's still within the 100 foot by probably a good 20 feet within the 100 foot buffer zone. So, I mean, hopefully that's okay. It's just that the garage is kind of on the small side, so I need a little bit more room.
We all need room.
Yeah, again, it's on the down, what do you call it, gradient? It's on the, so it makes it a little better for any kind of runoff. But that's, in that area, that's still very disturbed. There's like a giant stump in the backyard, and hopefully we can get that out of there. I mean, it's something big that got removed during construction. It's still sitting back there. But that whole area in the corner, the left rear corner of the lot is all messed up and disturbed from my house work, and probably a lot from the driveway, the next door driveway.
What were you gonna say, Jess?
What's the status of erosion controls in this area? Does anything need to be added?
No.
Okay.
And that is really the limit of work. That happens to be silt fence. The water is all uphill from, they're fine. Yeah.
Any other discussion?
And just with regards to the shed, I'd definitely be more in favor just on grade blocks or whatever.
Blocks.
Yeah, not
So just so I understand the slab thing, what is the, is it because it doesn't shed water, or just because
just the surface
it's
of the soil
permanent?
and such,
Yeah.
it's kind of permanent, right, yeah, so.
Gotcha.
You just do it on block, maybe gravel, stone, or whatever, if that's what you need to kind of create a stable base or something.
Okay.
you know, just kind of lay
I
it
mean, I have, you know, there's already a base established there. And, I could probably, I could go either way. So if that's your preference, you know, I'll definitely.
There's a slab there
Struck.
already?
No, there's just, you know, just
Kinda like
from,
area.
there's like gravel that's filled in that area.
Oh, it's a base. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's ready for the blocks off of the slab.
Okay, yeah, that'd be good.
So I'll take that, to heart.
Any other discussion? Motion to issue a negative determination?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, and I don't think it's gonna start, you know, with the weather, it's just will be, so I think we'll be springtime. So thanks for taking the time to take this so quickly.
I'll send you the paperwork.
Great.
In the mail.
All right.
So we'll sign it all, these three RDAs at the next meeting?
Yep.
Yeah, as always, like I tell Joanne, it's nice to have a small town feel here, so I appreciate that.
Let's see. Kohler Place?
Kohler Place. It's right in the box. So John and I were at the selectmen's meeting on Tuesday night. The selectmen signed. Now you all get to sign. And then it goes on its merry way to Fish and Wildlife. And the director there signs. And then he sends it to EOEEA and the secretary there signs. And it goes back to the Burnses and they record it. So
So in a couple days.
just a few days, a couple hours really. But we're more than halfway there.
Do we have to vote or anything? Or?
Just sign.
Yeah.
And you were saying the process started when?
Robert
What
said
year?
2012.
2012.
2012.
So a couple of weeks is not gonna.
Yeah. And Mr. Burns called today, ironically, just wondering how things were going. And he was very pleased to hear that we were almost over the halfway point, signature-wise.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very good, thank you.
Well, that's exciting.
It is exciting. This feels like a big accomplishment for us.
The next item is discussion on affidavits for orders of conditions. How do we do it?
Well, so I feel like I need some clear marching orders on how to handle this. There are a number of things we've talked about doing. I just need to know what you actually want me to do. So feel free to discuss yourselves. Yes.
I would say first and probably on the specific one we're interested in, which is Pingree Hill, to contact Eleopolis and Eleopolis, the law firm, and just say, did you get affidavits? What's the status? Let's get a clear answer on that.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would suggest we consider, and I'd be happy to draft it, a letter that we could help them with, send to homeowners, explain to the homeowners why it's in their interest to sign an affidavit after the fact, just so that the work of securing this certificate of compliance and then paying the filing fee and filing it at the registry falls on the developer rather than them. And if they don't do it, you know, years down the line, if they want to sell their house, they're gonna have to do it anyway, so. Because they'll find out, is it a lien that's on the deed, or what is it that's?
It's not really a lien.
Yeah.
Just, it's a
It's
So-
a cloud on the title.
So
it's
as
right.
part of this, I think we could make it a lien eventually,
yeah,
but at the moment, I don't believe it is,
right,
so.
cloud on the title sounds good.
And I think that's,
So will the law firm have at least a list of the affidavits that they have received? I mean, are we talking the whole?
if they have received any.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking every sold lot in Pingree Hill in total?
We're talking just about this batch of 9 requests, 7 of which have already been sold. So theoretically should have 7 affidavits, but they've been sold more than 10 days ago and we haven't. So I believe means they didn't get them.
But I guess I'm asking the question about the rest of the development. Do we know if we have them? Have we already
some.
issued
Yeah,
COCs?
it would be interesting to know how many COCs we've issued up there. I know,
Because if we're gonna ask, I'd like to ask for all of them, and let's get it
Yeah,
done right.
the one I have to check on, and I still have to go through minutes, that was what I ran out of time today on. But we did cover this back in 2014 and 15. And this was a newer condition we started putting in our orders, so so it was added to our later orders of conditions for Pingree Hill. It wouldn't apply to all of the
Okay,
residents in
so at least
Pingree Hill.
anything that was sold since
Right.
whatever date that is.
And so I'll, what I have to check through is just find out, did we actually sign them on the ones that it was clear we weren't gonna get the affidavits? But I think now, since the developer knew this was an issue, or the seller, and then they, yet again, a few years later, didn't comply, I think we should play a little bit harder ball. Not with the homeowners, but with the developer.
Correct, I think that's where we start.
Yeah.
And not just this developer.
No, because it was also an issue over on Trevor Trail with Seal Harbor, is that the?
Seal Harbor? I think it's Seal Harbor.
Yeah, okay. So I'd say first and only step for you would, my view would be just contacting that law firm, seeing if they'll respond. And just, we need to know what the status is. And we're considering providing a letter from our perspective of why homeowners should consider signing those affidavits.
Mhm.
What do you think?
It's probably the best way to go now. I don't know what the lawyer's gonna have a problem talking to us rather
Well,
than his client.
That was my thought exactly. Maybe I should have this conversation with Duke to start with.
Yeah.
Because I could see that it might be I could ask him if I could call the law firm if he doesn't have the answer,
Yeah.
or give him the opportunity to call the law firm
Okay.
with give him a week, say,
Yeah.
and see what happens.
So send a letter to Duke, not the law firm.
Right. Well, I'd probably
Call.
just pick up the phone.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
But we would be requesting anything since 2014, then we're saying.
Yeah. Well,
At
I'll
least-
look back
At least
the,
the list of incompletes.
yeah. I'll check to see what we did with the batch we got then.
Okay.
If it's found out about.
Mhm.
I
I can only think of three COCs up there since I've been here. 165 Hemlock came to us. Holly Ridge, Annette Moore and the neighbor to the left. So I remember walking those with you all.
Can we go out on a walk with Steve? We were up to a whole bunch of houses. We were looking whether the rocks were in place.
Yeah, that was the bunch that they had the outstanding issue with were the affidavits.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll see if I can discern through the minutes what those were and what we did with the ones that they came back to us and said, on a few of them, they came back and said the homeowners absolutely wouldn't sign it. But our primary goal, to stress this, is that we make sure that somehow or other the new homeowners have copies of their orders of conditions and just understand.
Right.
So that's our goal, whether the affidavit's the right method to get there, or how we can strengthen it.
It might be more direct, just to copy them and send them to the homeowners.
But but that's the thing is, the affidavit request means that that's how we're supposed to learn there's a homeowner. Otherwise, how do you know?
Well, we have ways of finding these things out, but I get
Right, but it shouldn't
Yes.
be, that's not.
Right.
I know you sit in the office and twiddle your thumbs.
I do, all day long. All day long, sun up to sundown.
Yeah.
And if you contact the owners, who's that gonna fall on?
Right, because again,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be the developer's responsibility.
Yeah.
So let's start there.
And legally, if the developer is the applicant and is responsible initially, and then they sold the property, it's hanging on that deed.
Right.
As a cloud, as it were.
Yes.
Then it is their responsibility for the protection, or for the sake of their buyers, to have given them everything they need legally to know how to not get enforcement orders, et cetera.
We can word it in such a way, we're sure that you just forgot, so please send these to us.
We're sure you forgot. For years.
We're just following up because she just twiddles her thumbs all day, so there's nothing better to do. We thought this might be something that would fill her time.
Exactly, right.
And we can possibly work on that in the regulations, as a method of.
But if we turn the screws a little harder right now, maybe the new sales they have coming up, there'll be more incentive for them to do it. So,
Yes.
It's very curious to me that the title companies have let this, that they haven't caught it. So I don't know who's doing the title work on this, if it's the same law firm. It's I don't know. All right, so I'm hearing you say that
Is that the seller does the titles all the time? And I don't remember now. Sell homes
the seller,
frequently.
yes, the seller
So it
provides
must
the
be
title.
more than likely a very, it's a common, like I said, title, common title.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
They just unfortunately forgot.
Yes, or something.
So I'd call Duke or with his permission, the law firm, and just say, what's the status? And we're considering providing you with a letter from the commission explaining from our perspective, why we would support them signing their affidavits after the fact or something like that. Would that be helpful?
Yeah. All right, good. That sounds like clear direction. Thank you.
We want to basically note that, before reaching out to individual homeowners and apprising them of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, what was that?
That we're reaching out to you, Duke.
Yeah.
In an effort to try and clear this before we go directly to the homeowners.
buyers, whatever.
Anything else on this discussion?
Get us started.
Sounds good to me.
Alrighty. The next item tonight is discussion of the final report from Solitude for 2019 pond treatment and 2020 treatment plans.
Yes, so, I gave you all the final report. I have some extra ones here in case you want to look at it again.
George?
Yeah,
You didn't bring yours?
no.
Jeez, George.
So it's that time of year again that we get to start thinking about doing some more of this. I think they're recommending that they do the same thing all over again because it seems to be working. They did say again that they thought using Clipper, which they can't use in an ACEC, so we can tell them that again.
No.
Last year we had them come in and give a brief run through of the report with the maps and make their recommendation, and I would think that would be a good thing to do again.
I think so too.
Okay.
And I noticed we have a new invasive curly leaf pondweed that's appeared in different degrees in all 3 of the ponds.
It's closer to where you are though, I think.
I didn't do it really. But they did say that one, the best management or treatment time for that one is early May to early June. So.
When did they do their first treatment last year?
I don't think it was till June or July.
July 30th, it says here.
30.
Yeah.
26th on Sandy.
Yeah, so if we get them in here pretty soon and get a contract organized and signed with them.
So 2 things, and 1, get them in, and 2, set up the meeting with Robert.
Yes, I talked to Robert about that today, and
Oh,
he's gonna send me a couple of dates.
Okay.
The curly leaf should be treated earlier than, and is there a disadvantage to treating the whole ponds earlier?
Well, that would be a really good question to ask
That's
them when
what
they
curly
come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if that's gonna be an additional treatment.
Right.
They do their pre-treatment survey early, so maybe they could do the pre-treatment survey and the curly leaf pondweed at the same time.
And I think there was 1 year they wound up delaying because it was a late spring, so they couldn't do the pre-treatment earlier because their stuff was growing yet.
Right.
So we're sort of stuck with that too, but, so it's a good question if we get them in here.
Right.
Ask.
So the other thing to realize is that we have to ask town meeting for money for this, and I don't honestly know when spring town meeting is.
It's not till May. So that's the question for Robert is, last year we had the same issue. So last year we had the same issue, and Robert had said that he would guarantee the town would cover it a different way if it didn't pass town meeting. But part of our issue with talking about the ins and outs of accounting is to meet the needs of signing a contract in a timely fashion, we need to have a backlog. And,
Yes,
of
and-
funds so we can sign a contract.
Right, and I need to ask Lisa what money we may have hanging around in other, what's the word I'm looking for?
Secret accounts.
No, I don't think that's the word I'm looking for.
Offshore accounts?
I don't think that's it either. Appropriations?
Yeah.
Other town meeting article, I think there is a little bit of.
Yeah.
Probably enough to get us going. All right, so
Is that something that you set up, Joanne, the meeting with Solitude?
yes,
So just going back to the curly leaf then. So they did the early season survey in June 10th. They didn't treat until July, late July. But then when I'm looking at the late season surveys, I don't see anything in Pine Meadow where it says anything about curly leaf there. Flanagan says curly leaf was not observed. Sandy Pond says curly leaf was not observed, so it might not be, it might treat and die off pretty simply. It might not get out of control, is what I'm surmising from this.
Except on the second page,
Which one? Yeah.
Pine Meadow Pond, they said the presence of curly leaf pondweed had not been recorded in the past, so it's widespread but sparse growth was unexpected. But it wasn't observed, no, it's not the survey,
You on page 2?
yeah, under Pine Meadow Pond.
On the map, it shows.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm getting at, I think, at least I thought where you were going about the, what did you say, it needs to be treated in May? I guess they didn't end up treating actually until July, but it still seemed to have taken care of it, although maybe, so was it truly out of control, or maybe it's, like I said, maybe it is brand new, maybe it's just, if we get a survey in June, we might have to treat maybe earlier.
Yeah.
But hopefully it's not so out of control.
Well, we can have them in and get their recommendation.
Yeah.
For that.
well.
I mean, they might be able to give us more info as to,
Yeah, have them explain
if they
this to
saw
us,
it,
right.
and even though it looks like it's died off or had been killed, in the late season survey, what's the chances that it's gonna
Right.
proliferate, right? Okay.
And Robert says town council is still working on that Flanagan Pond.
That's what he says.
So keep pushing him on that. 'cause-
Yeah, well, I think when you guys come in and we all sit down together, that will be a good way to ask that question.
You could tell him that we'll be asking it then.
Yeah, I could.
I could say,
Yes.
Jess and John, George in spirit and Mark in spirit, will be asking about that.
Yes. Right. On the bottom.
Anything else? Yes, sir.
I'm curious as to whether the commission, I haven't tracked it for the last 9 years or so, but has the commission addressed all the fact that about a third of Flanagan's Pond is privately held and we're weed treating on private property?
Have we addressed that?
Yeah.
No.
Is the commission going to address it as far as cost goes and such?
As far as,
Well, we're paying whatever the amount of money is, but you're doing weed control on private property. A third of the pond is privately owned,
so,
and yet the town's doing weed control on it. Is there no significance to that, to the commission?
One of the things we're looking at is potential access point.
Yeah.
On a very narrow
Yeah, off
bit
the
of
snake.
land off of Snake Hill Road.
Yeah.
But, we had somebody from the state looking at it and trying to do a public access there, wound up, there was a private.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
And that's what's being looked at. by town council right now. So that's what we're waiting to get more
Yeah,
information.
I'm aware of that, but how about the actual weed treatment on private property?
Well, the interesting thing is that you can still go in a kayak in the water on top of that private property.
Oh, I have no problem, I mean, I understand that.
So there is a funny, that's a funny and peculiar situation.
No, I understand that too.
It's publicly accessible, even though it's over private property.
Mhm.
The water is publicly accessible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, so, the answer is no. It's not an issue for the commission or for the town, at least at this point.
Right. I would say that's the answer.
Okay. Because that will come up at town meeting when you start talking funding.
What was that?
That will be coming up at town meeting when you start talking about funding weed control for Flanagan's.
Again,
I'm sorry?
again,
Again,
every year,
well,
beating
no,
a dead horse.
not the last 9 years. But this year there's a group, so there are a group being less than 10. Just want an answer, so I don't want to bring it up because I'd like, at town meeting so that it's explained, maybe even the way Joanne explained it. And so the town is, satisfied because nobody's gonna show up for town meeting anyways, but, I mean, that kind of an explanation,
Well, we all show up. Well, the alternative is not to treat at all, and then there will not be a Flanagan's Pond.
well, I understand, but in past, a lot of times, issues have been brought up at town meeting, unprepared, whatever commission, planning, whatever, hasn't been asked ahead of time, and I would rather have a predetermined statement that, sounds reasonable, so then it just goes through and it's, or doesn't, but at least, people know, and it's not like, well, we never really thought. So I guess that's really what I'm asking is just, it comes up, and in the past, it's been kind of a back and forth, but just have a statement would be great.
So for like at the last town meeting, you raised the issue of funding for Flag and Pond and no public access.
Yeah.
And we heard
No
it.
public access.
Yeah, and we have been still trying to see what we can do, but it's, we're still, town council works
Mysterious
in
ways.
mysterious ways, but we're still trying to get that information, so even before you just asked tonight, we're still working on that.
Like I said, I would like to have, it's easier, town meeting, if there's at least an answer that sounds reasonable rather than a back and forth.
Yeah, that
Right.
makes sense.
Oh, I appreciate that, thank you.
Is there public concern that it is being done, I guess?
Well,
And
not for any of the people that surround the pond, but, I mean, I guess I would say, a few of the people that have been discussing it again are, people that don't live on the pond.
Yeah.
That obviously you've seen their property taxes go up. And, saying, well, hey, my social security didn't go up. And it's the same discussion pretty much every year that they have, except, the group maybe grows by one person in a year or something. But if we have a statement that sounds reasonable at the time, I mean, there's not enough people there that it's going to, it's going to make a big significance, but at least it sounds reasonable and planned ahead.
Right.
And the commission or the town looks more coherent. And, oh yeah, we thought about this, and this is what this is what we have a statement for.
We can schedule a discussion in the future and bring this up. That's a good point.
I suppose at the end of the day, the amount of money spent, when you think about the benefits of it, in comparison to the number of residents that we have, I'd be hard pressed to say that it wasn't a benefit to all regardless of where you live, so.
Yep.
We're all in the same boat.
Surrounded by invasive
For those that live on the
weeds.
pond.
Jeez.
Bring your own
So
boat.
close.
That wasn't even across the bow, was it? Anything else on solitude and
No, I will.
solitude? Sounds nice.
It does, really.
We said it was not solitude, right? It's solitude.
Solitude.
Oh, it's
they
called-
have
it's
that-
solitude?
Yeah, solitude.
So is that the reason for that weird O?
Yes, and the long vowel mark, yeah. So if I can get them to come in to the next meeting,
One of the meetings.
or the meeting after that, soon, soon.
They shouldn't be too busy now.
I wouldn't think so, except running around to conservation commissions doing this kind of thing,
Drumming up business.
drumming up business.
That would be great.
Yep.
I think the earlier the better.
Okay.
The next item is discussion on bylaws and regulations, next steps.
So, sent you guys what I went through. And in the, like I said in the email, I kind of tried to identify, highlight color-wise, sort of the main kind of points on most of the regulations that I saw in the different towns. Again, I tried to pick off stuff that seemed different or that I hadn't heard of. But then I did go back and look at, some of the special conditions and our typical order of conditions and trying to just there was a number of things that I had on here like, oh, that's actually in our order of conditions. I didn't really notice that. So wipe it off, wipe it off, wipe it off, So there was a lot of the towns basically had taken things that we already have or we've already taken them from them somehow or another, So they're sort of captured. I may have missed stuff, so as you go through it, if I miss something, then say, oh, well, this is already in, so. But like I said, I guess in general, I tried to identify, who had what in there. I did attach a couple of the other tabs. If you saw, there was a couple snapshots I took, from Shirley. So Shirley had almost next to nothing, except they had that one thing that says, what was it, 25 feet, I think?
I know, and
stay out of there.
Shirley's whole bylaw and regulation things, I think, is something we ought not to hang our hat on.
No, but I figured for information,
Yeah.
who's around us, what they got going on.
Right.
Just want everybody to be aware that that's over there.
Yeah.
Groton, Littleton, they definitely have a lot of good stuff. Harvard has a lot of good stuff also. Some of the stuff that to me almost seemed like, well, yeah, I guess I wouldn't have thought we would have needed to state that, but I guess we should, no fuel tanks in the buffer zone, underground fuel tanks. But, I guess we probably would not. But if we don't state it anywhere else, maybe we should state it.
Oh, I know, and even though you can't bury a heating oil tank, I think you can bury a propane tank, a big propane tank.
Yeah, so
Bury it.
So again, something we
Bury
might
it.
want to, if we so choose, that might be something we want to definitely identify. It was interesting trying to read through and decipher all the different slices of the fees, what fees that they charge and who charges what, and then trying to think where were they going when they were coming up with this calculation, but if it's this, it's that. Many of them, I was surprised, RDA's, so there's $50 fee that Littleton charge, whereas, Groton is saying they don't charge anything.
Somebody charges $250.
Right. And that's what I was like, goodness,
Yeah, if we want to encourage people to come in,
Right.
I
And
think
that's kind of
charging
where
a fee is,
And I guess from a fee perspective, my personal vote would be, let's tread lightly on fees, at least, especially from the start, but there might be at least a couple that we definitely want to bring in. But, again,
Yes,
we all need to chat through that.
like figuring out a COC from 1982. Or, yeah, we could have a fee for that.
But RDA's definitely, I'd say no fee, because also, without having to charge for a legal ad, we're getting, I think we get more people willing to come in and talk to us.
Yes.
Sure.
Right.
For that.
So yeah, that was, like I said, definitely interesting. And it, it might take a little bit more detailed analysis to kind of really lay this out a little bit better.
Yeah.
This is.
especially for the one we decide that, yeah, we think we might want to. So then let's really understand how all the other towns have really applied it and see, okay,
Yeah, yep.
do we just follow right along lockstep, or does that just seem a little crazy, you know? Like I said, in the blue, you know, these are things that just to me seems, you know, that we should definitely do. And again, like, so on the second page, you know, no disposal or burying of construction debris in buffer zone. I think we kind of have that in the order of conditions, but I think it says it's more backfill kind of stuff. I don't think it truly says anything about construction debris. So,
I'll have to,
Yeah.
I kind of think it does. Stumps and construction debris,
well, that's what I'm saying. It sounded more like
but I'll check.
stumps and backfill and dirt and maybe some stone, but not so much, you know, like, oh, burying like, you know, my drops on my 2x4s and stuff like that. I don't think it really says that.
All right,
So,
well,
maybe I'm wrong.
All
Like I said,
right.
maybe I misread it. Yeah, again, bottom of the third page, you know, some other interesting things. So prohibit work in resource areas within 100 foot of dens, dams, 200 feet of osprey or heron's nests. I was like, huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I never really thought of that. Right above it, then, you know, prohibit the destruction of habitat, i.e. dams, dens, nesting areas, large cavity trees,
Yeah.
vernal pools.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's something we should consider.
Right.
I did like the prohibit the fences kind of thing.
Yes, yep.
So I thought that was interesting.
Or at least where you need a fence to have a space along the bottom for turtles to get through or something.
Right,
If you have to, if there's a requirement for.
like around a solar installation, say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last page, you know, tree removal in resource areas are not deemed hazardous by a licensed arborist, so. Topping the trees. Right. Tree branches directly overhanging dwellings may be trimmed without permits. You know, it's like, yeah, you know, okay, not such a big deal. You know, maybe kind of that minor activities
Right.
list we provide, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Next one, may require a bond for order of conditions
Mm-hmm.
to ensure adherence when applicant and or representative's past history has shown a lack of regard.
So that's the sort of thing I was thinking of maybe on our end for final grading in buffer zone around new residents that isn't getting done by apparently Seal Harbor.
Seal Harbor.
Seal Harbor. Over on the Trigger Trail. But that, you know, if you have a developer that's showing they're not carrying that through, maybe in those instances, we could require a bond for completion of what's within our jurisdiction on the
Yeah.
outside groundwork
Right,
that would be released once
And-
they secure a COC.
right, or we could go kind of a two-step process, right? We could go a couple down in violations, definitely fine for, where they're not meeting things, and then, although kind of hard to do a bond after the fact, but, you know, we'll issue fines the first couple times, but then,
Yeah.
you know, if we find you are not in compliance on last two properties, or two
Yeah.
properties within 3 years, or something like that, we will require a bond.
Yeah.
You know, maybe some sort of flavor like that.
Yeah, just as incentive, so that
Yeah.
if they decide to walk away, then there's money in that could be directed at that particular property.
Mm-hmm.
Or homeowner can use to do the same thing.
How do we issue that bond?
Well, this is, in the bylaw, we now have the power to require bonds. Figuring out the mechanism is,
Yeah, that's
let's get out to the planning board, because they do bonds all the time.
Yeah, I think you essentially require the developer to buy an insurance policy, which is what a bond is, of a certain dollar value, to be released either as the work is completed or at a COC. Yeah, so that's kind of how a bond works.
So I don't know how much you guys got into reading this. If there's any questions you have, let me know. If I mess something up, let me know. Or not sure of the an abbreviation, I'm kind of an abbreviator, acronym kind of person, so if there's something that doesn't make sense.
When I printed out a version on my computer, I couldn't read it. Well,
Because
it would be like that. So,
What's the RES?
Just resource area,
Resource, okay.
just trying to abbreviate a little bit.
No, this is great.
But one that I thought was interesting too, so farm and fire ponds served as vernal pools and shall not be stocked with fish unless Concom deems appropriate. So,
Well, one of the characteristics of a vernal pool is that it has no predatory fish in it. That's how you can tell it's actually a vernal pool.
right, but
Because it has
to
no
say
fish.
that they, basically, let me pick up the, because I definitely abbreviated that, but let me just pick up the wording. They talk about, again, it's a fire pond or a farm pond, so something they created for their cows to drink out of or whatever, right? And it's like, no, we're gonna, you can't do anything to that. No, that's right. Yeah, I think that's great.
Sounds like it could be Harvard too.
Was it?
So it's a man-made pond that turned into a vernal pool.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically what it
Mhm.
comes out to, right?
We probably don't really have any of those in air,
So yes, it might be a moot point, right?
since we have town water almost everywhere and fire hydrants and
No farms.
very.
Okay. Yeah, I can, sure. Oh, there it is. Yeah, farm and fire ponds. Historically, farm and fire ponds have served as vernal pools across the New England landscape. Accordingly, stocking of farm and fire ponds with fish shall not be permitted, except in those cases where the commission has deemed it appropriate. And so, yeah, that's a crowd. That's a weird thing.
Yeah, funny.
A little overstepping, I guess.
Yeah, it does seem kind of.
So there you have it.
Okay.
I guess if we start putting some vote to it, like, what do we want to see, then it's really probably pulling out by verse what they have in the other regulations from the other towns and maybe crafting it to our words and or maybe just truly copying it verbatim. Because they, like I said, these I've definitely abbreviated, much more eloquent, a lot of that stuff, there was like lead into it, then
Right.
da-da-da-da-da-da. So this is what we're doing.
We have somebody coming on who's versed in working on policies and
Do we?
procedures, reading policies.
That's the first step.
She'll flesh it out for us, whatever.
Hang words on those bones.
That's
Yep.
right.
Yep.
All right, to be continued.
Is that it for now?
Okay.
I guess this last discussion we already talked about a little bit.
Oh, yeah,
I missed it?
you missed it.
Do I need to do anything about it?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
While we're still in the agenda portion of the program, we've got 3 negative determinations.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you missed that.
I missed that too.
I thought we were getting out of here like at 8 o'clock. That way they think
We
we're
were
flying.
zipping for a while.
Jeez.
And then.
Joanne came back.
That's right.
Screeching halt.
Well, yep.
All right. What's next?
It deeds.
So we've asked Jen to join us on the commission and wanted to know if you would be interested in being is it an alternate or an associate?
Associate.
An associate. To sit in from time to time and Yeah, that'd be great. That would be great, thank you.
As often as you would like.
As often as I can.
As you can, that's fine.
Good, perfect, perfect. Okay.
Conservation updates.
I did 2 pre-construction inspections on the Trevor Trail lots that were recently reduced in size
That were split, yeah.
yesterday, and they're fine. This coming week, there are 2 more lots on the shared driveway that's going back behind Calvin's old house, that they would like to get started on those too. Since everything is pretty much frozen solid, except for the big construction projects, there's really nothing to even go look at outside. Office updates, the municipal vulnerability preparedness workshop tonight was fabulous.
Yeah.
The facilitators from the consulting company were just top notch. It was a very interactive workshop. Tonight we mostly identified areas of vulnerability by hazard type. Basically, we into 2 separate groups in 2 separate rooms, and then compared our answers.
What was the vulnerability to people? Assets? So,
Well,
like our water's vulnerable or we are vulnerable, you know what I mean?
so if the climate change risk is flooding, in across the top and then down the side, categories of infrastructure,
Okay.
sort of social, and what was the third one? Whatever it was.
The infrastructure, basically, the economical impact.
Well, so we've got train tracks that come all the way through town. Where are those vulnerable to flooding? And what happens if the tracks flood and the trains can't get through, or if the tracks flood, causing a derailment of a shipment of something really hazardous right by the Spectacle Pond well field. Environmental justice populations were in the social category. Ability to access the hospital, say.
Because of trains.
Because, well, if there's a big train disaster and there's flooding and emergency vehicles can't move. If the cell towers go out and you can't get the emergency messages out. I learned tonight that our shelter in case of emergency is the Shirley Middle School. Yeah. So,
Where's that?
Where's that? It's over there.
I'm in trouble.
Yeah. Culverts are susceptible to flooding. If a dam goes out and we lose the water in Grove Pond, that affects our wells.
Yep.
Okay. So next week, we're gonna fill in the other part of the matrix with action items that would address,
What's the contingency plan, basically, right?
yeah, what can you do to lessen the risk of this this climate change issue?
And are you ranking the vulnerability in So maybe you're at a 5, which is the worst, and we'd like to get this to a 3 maybe, right?
Yes, yes, yep.
And it's natural disasters only?
Oh no, it was terrorist attacks and a lot of natural disasters caused by climate change.
You doing cyber too?
No, but that's a very interesting, and we're supposed to think of the rest of the things we missed. So
that'd be big.
there's a big one.
Was there anything on, more severe storms or trees coming down or impacting neighborhoods that would be cut off?
Say.
Like you?
But also actually yours too.
Sure.
Your street could be blocked by.
Just climb the mountain, come out the other end.
Yeah. So was that raised? Because there are various dead end areas.
Not by my group, maybe by the other group. So I'll make sure my group knows about that. So we had flooding, we had more severe weather events in general, bigger rainstorms over a shorter amount of time, say, snow and ice, wind,
which brings down trees, which blocks roads leading into dead-end neighborhoods.
This is very true.
Scott.
Drop in the
Wildfires.
Yeah.
Sure, Jeff was too, was just saying, hey, if we could just have an ice storm, we'd be all set, right?
Right. Yep. Drought and heat.
Yeah, they go together.
Yep. Leading to fires, in some case leading to heat stress without a cooling, just it was good.
Yeah.
And we've got the next meeting is next Thursday to finish up the grid, and then there's gonna be a public listening session. So that anybody who's interested in this will have a chance to participate. And then the town will be eligible to apply for grants to address these actions that we have identified.
State or federal, both?
State, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just goes like to a single agency, or depending on what sort of vulnerability it is, it goes to like a different agency?
I don't know about that.
Oh, okay.
We'll find
I'm just
out.
asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was really good, and time flew. I thought, 4 hours, but it was great. And there were about 35 people there, which was really nice.
Joanne Scott had a question.
Is it spearheaded by one town department to like a emergency planning, like contingency, or is that is just sort of in the ether right now with a lot of interested parties, like who's gonna take point on that in the town?
Well, so DPW is spearheading the MVP planning process. Police and fire are part of it. Our fire chief is the emergency management officer for the town. And I would imagine that department by department, these actionable intersections that we identify, like if it's an infrastructure thing, it really makes sense to have that live in DPW in their budget. If it's an emergency management issue, that seems more likely to live in
Police and fire.
police or fire. So I think it depends on, I think it depends. But it would be great if you could come to the public listening session and ask good questions. It was good. Dave was there. It was a good group.
Good.
We're on the agenda for the planning board meeting on the 14th. They haven't posted the agenda, so I don't know where we are in the lineup, but they start at 6:15. You should have a copy in your packet of the notice of intent for paving at Murphy Knives. It looks like DEP and the engineer had some conversations, and there's a little narrative addressing the stormwater issues that DEP brought up. Be good to read through that. I only had a chance to see that this extension for Lot 13A Trevor Trail arrived at the office. And that could be the one that's for the replication area, but I have to finish reading it to see what that's all about. Yesterday, I went to MRPC for the meeting about the EPA Brownfields grant that MRPC got to help anybody who needed a phase 1 or phase 2 environmental investigation done, and we got ours.
That's
So,
great.
$2,500, the consultant that MRPC hired is actually gonna do the phase 1 for the Slarsky property. Yep, yeah, that felt really good.
Mm.
And the
This
other.
is behind the fire station.
Right. Whereas it turns out we need some more flood storage, so that would be a good thing. We were there were 4 projects that qualified through kind of the sifting process. We were the only one who had a piece of property that hosted the circus.
What?
Everybody else was just a gas station or an old industrial building. But apparently years ago, the circus was held every year on that.
Right there.
It's from the
Yep.
Slarsky
Yeah.
property.
Interesting.
So maybe
Yeah, who knows what they're gonna find.
That's right.
And I was really delighted to discover that Daniel Wolf, who signs all the plans from David E. Ross Associates, is a real person. And he walked into the office and we had a conversation. He said that the old David E. Ross building has a potential buyer, but they need to replace the septic system. And the new septic tanks and a pump would be in the riverfront area. And he showed me the part of the regulation where he thinks it's exempt from discussion on our part. But I need to look at the other pages of the regulation that lead up to the one page he handed me. And I think that's all I've got.
So just to put it on the record, on the Wright Road property, the appeal.
Oh, that, yes,
Yeah.
that happened today, but we were all mostly there. You missed.
Well, but we have to, it's minutes and public information.
Right, so.
Summarize away.
This morning at 10 o'clock, Denise Child came up from DEP in Worcester to do a site walk with the owner of Lot 5A Wright Road, his engineer, our chairman, our sage, myself. We sent our scribe home.
That would have been a quorum.
Because she would have been a quorum. It turns out DEP has a different take on site walks and quorums than town council does. That if we were together and a quorum, we needed to post a public meeting.
Okay. Interesting.
So, to avoid doing that, we sent Jess home.
So,
I cried.
so we call our site visits.
Yeah, well, and we checked into this recently with town council, and town council said, no, you don't have to.
No, we looked into it and found the relevant state law that said this was one of the exemptions. Town council had given us the wrong answer as well. I mean,
Yeah, so we sent Jess home, and we spent a good half hour in the freezing cold.
It's felt longer.
Oh boy. Going through.
Sliding.
Oh, so icy in the woods.
so she heard from both sides.
Yep.
And now she's deliberating.
Yes, and she will ask for more information if she feels like she needs more information.
Okay.
She thought our findings were very detailed, and she appreciated that. And it's her intent to move this right along.
Did they, I think on the final plan, they didn't have that lawn pulled back, right? As you asked for like a little bit less lawn and more natural area. And I don't think the final plan actually had that. Did they provide like an update with some of those? Okay. Just curious if they did or not. Okay.
So, yeah.
It sounded like she was trying to find a middle ground somewhere, ways to compromise. But time will tell.
Time will tell.
Yep.
Okay.
So that updates the world.
The world, yes.
Yeah, that's good.
Oops. Oh.
Where'd that go?
Oh, it's still there. Right. Oh, I
One more time. I'm out of the mood now.
We got no better place to be. Go ahead. Take it slow.
Slow, because we need to see this all for the third time. Okay. One more, right? Okay, step away from the keyboard. So this was our New Year's post about the lovely barred owl that started a real conversation among the 11 people who commented, which is crazy. Oh, I hear them, I see them, aren't they wonderful? And 84 people liked our beautiful little owl. So this is turning out to be a really wonderful thing. I think people are very engaged in these little wildlife moments. So
We heard, in our house, it wasn't a barred because it was different. I'm not sure what it was, to be honest with you, because I'm not that good at knowing my owls.
All savvy?
No, I'm not. But they were far apart.
Yeah.
Then they got closer. Then they got like real close.
Whoa.
Then it got quiet.
That was my little chirping.
Nifty.
It was pretty cool.
This is not a local picture, right? That's from the website or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. All right, I truly think that's all I have.
Any member updates?
I feel very fortunate. I've started the 20-disc set of The Overstory on CD.
Oh, you do? You're listening to it?
Yeah, I'm a stinky reader, so it's just easier for me to just listen to it on the way in and out to work. So
which tree are you up to?
I'm the mulberry.
Oh.
So I'm only just gonna half in. So.
Okay. All right. You're further than I am.
The chestnut was.
Oh, that's.
Wasn't that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that is just the most heartbreaking
Oh.
part of our history.
Yeah. Yeah, and you think of that poor chestnut, the one that was left just all alone, and it takes two, and just all of them. And the flip book
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
chess.
It's a great story. Have you started to read that at all? It's hard, but it's not easy to read.
No.
I've found, but it is really fascinating.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm about 2/3 of the way through.
Oh, that's good. I'm only about 150 pages in. And I took Marion to a meeting at the Watershed Association the other day. She's only got 150 pages left to go. So I better get going.
It's required reading, by the way.
The Overstory?
Overstory.
Yes, yes.
It's just the one Bonnie recommended before.
Yes, it is, yeah.
It's our parting gift from our
Former.
I was gonna say our
Vice chair.
departed commissioner, but our commissioner,
Our vice chair.
our old vice chair, yeah.
Are
It's,
there happier stories or is it all about sad trees?
pretty much about,
There are some happy little trees on PBS, I think, if you look at that.
I'm trying not to.
Bob Ross.
yeah.
Oh, God.
The trees are mostly good, it's the people who are kind of sad.
So it's trees, true. but trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
It's based on
This-
fact.
Yeah, the science is good.
Yeah, the science is based on that, everything else is,
Yeah, just
Made up.
totally made up.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Good for you. Yeah, that's the way to do it.
So that's about all I got. Actually, so I do have one question though. Don't we have another sidewalk coming up? Is it also on the 18th? I don't have it jotted down, so that, I thought we had another one.
No?
Were we supposed to go back to somewhere?
Ooh.
Boy, I don't think so.
As
remember that.
described.
Because we had a planning for next week,
Mm-hmm.
but I thought we had a sidewalk rolled in there somewhere too.
No, I think it was the one that we were talking about setting up for the Pingree Hill COCs.
Oh, that's probably it. Okay.
But we need those affidavits.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm confused. 'Cause I
It
just,
might be- that was
that's what I was
for-
looking for. I was like, yeah, I thought we had another one to go
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we had started to set one up, I think right before Christmas, DeShane wanted to do it.
Right.
And
Okay.
it's like, right before Christmas.
And then it snowed.
And we don't have the affidavits,
Right.
so why are we rushing?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
I can put my mind at ease then.
I'm
I'm good.
glad, I'm
I'm
glad.
done.
You'll be able to concentrate on your next disc.
That's right. I'll be listening to it as I go 2 miles down the street.
Nice.
So
How about you,
we're
Jim? I'm sorry.
gonna get proposals for the peer review.
Do we want to get the same guy?
Why not?
I don't know.
He was, why not, I guess. Well,
I didn't think BSC was so bad.
Oh, no, this would be the same Matt Swishberg.
No, they were from, that was Oxbow, wasn't that? Isn't that what he said?
That did the habitat evaluation,
Okay.
but we had Wetland Solutions
Mm-hmm.
do the peer review
Okay.
on Solar 2 before. BSC Group did the peer review for
John Carroll Reserve.
Reserve.
Yep.
And they did one.
There is a big price difference between all these groups, so, in terms of the cost of the peer review.
Right, and Matt doesn't have the capacity, I don't think, to evaluate the engineering. If that's something we want to have. I have some concerns about the culvert and the crossing. Given that it's supposed to conform to stream crossing standards, and the way this thing is designed, there's no way any wildlife is moving in and out of there.
Yeah, it appeared to be, from what I read, it's a corrugated culvert.
Yeah, it's surrounded by riprap on both the up and downstream sides.
Yeah.
So that's for the convenience of the road.
Right. Now that it's noted as Blanding's territory, how's that gonna work?
Yeah,
They're not that big.
no.
So, you'll get some quotes.
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
What else you got, Drew?
That's it.
Yeah. I guess I would just say for peer reviews, I guess as a general standard on our part too, I'd like that we exercise tighter control on the degree to which the reviewer who works for, responds to us, the degree to which they meet privately with the engineering groups.
Of the applicant.
Yeah, yeah. I did like with the oil spill that it was very clear Paul McManus was working in the interests. I mean, he had that way of drawing the distinction. In this capacity, he was working in the interests of our protection of the conditions under the Wetland Protection Act, and yes, I just think we establish very clear parameters, because I was a little concerned on solar too before that there were a lot of more private meetings going on between the peer reviewer then and GPR. That may have lost the focus of who was
For clarification of items, or?
No, I mean,
So you'd rather see it be more,
funneled
they
to us.
essentially
Yeah,
make a recommendation or make a statement.
yeah,
It might even be a question, but saying
Yeah.
this does not seem quite right, as opposed to getting it maybe
Yeah, at
resolved
least-
by asking them, I see.
yeah,
Okay.
something, or at least also filtered through our agent
Oh, I see.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
just
one-
so that
if there are
interest,
questions
so
you
that
want
the interests of the
clarification on,
commissioner were
please,
represented.
yeah, please send clarifying
Yeah.
questions to both our agent and.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's transparency.
Exactly.
Right, so do we want peer review of the engineering of the road and the culvert as well as the wetlands?
Is it a tremendous increase in cost?
Oh, probably.
I don't think so. We're not cheap.
Yeah. All right. The slope and the retaining wall that's gonna hold the road up near Washington Street is really, you can't really see it very well on the tiny plans, but when you roll out the big plans, it's really quite something. All right, engineering.
That's the black area, I believe, right? That is not really black, it's just that those are the.
So they're so close together. Yeah, that's yeah. And even on the full-size plans, there's
Right.
not much white space between those black lines. All
Yeah,
right.
'cause I would be interested in the runoff calculation too, because I've seen spots that have solar panels put up and the runoff, he was trying to argue that the water still falls into the ground and blah, 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 but when you're collecting it in a channel, it can be tremendous.
So-
And a heavy downpour coming off that solar panel can be.
It's not gonna be the same as naturally falling on the ground.
No.
Not totally, but I could just envision after a couple heavy rains, depending on how quickly the vegetation comes in, you're gonna create a rut. And once the vegetation's in, you'll have a rut.
Yes.
And then it becomes a puddle and, so yeah.
So, last year I went to a presentation at the Watershed Association given by Judy about siting solar arrays and the things to be really concerned about when writing orders. So I'll copy my notes for you all. But erosion was one, because you're right, once that trench starts, and she had pictures of, and I don't know how steep it is down in there, probably not as steep as the picture she was showing us, but, you know, once that starts, there's really no way to stop it.
Right.
And when I came in, they were talking about the basin below the road above the wetlands and how it was slowing down the water getting to the wetlands. That's not necessarily a good thing.
Right, and yeah, and so I think he tried to back that off when he said, it still gets there though.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're stopping the water from going to the wetland and drying it up, but
Yeah.
it will still get there eventually.
Yeah.
So that might be maybe, and actually I think that, so in the regulations that there's a couple of them that said that the change in water flow and things like that cannot be greater than a certain tolerance percentage. Or
Yeah.
So, yeah, it might be interesting to check on that.
Yeah, well, I'll make sure I get these to you, but Judy also referenced that DEP policy 17-1 that you now all have a printout of.
Yeah, actually, so that troughing, puddling or whatever. Can we check that out, like maybe with the one that's over in Harvard there, you know, down the street from the gas station, and even our other one. Has that started already? I mean, might we be able to actually have evidence that that's what happens?
Well, we should go.
Some of them been around a while, right? Probably
Yeah.
enough to,
Well,
if it's an issue.
You gotta get somebody, well, I suppose you can look through the fence to see.
About the dump?
That one's so new.
Fresh.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the one, like I said, even if you just go down the street from the.
I think we need drones.
I think so.
Well, it's an MACC conference session, drones for conservation purposes.
Really?
Yes.
How much do they cost? Because we need a couple.
I don't know. Let's put it in the budget though.
I saw an
We can do our
article
own
about
palm
drones
service.
with flamethrowers on
Really?
We don't need that.
them. Great for keeping raccoons out of the trash.
Beaver.
Yikes.
Jeez.
There's no end to bad ideas.
Any other member updates?
Nope.
Committee updates? Do we have any committees?
CPC met last night, working on signs. And waiting to hear the presentation from the Historical Commission next month. Oh, and in Janet Pravadakis's housing report, she said they're now working on, I guess, community economic development are working on apartment housing over on Fitchburg Road next to, that's gonna have to come before us eventually. Do you know how many apartments they're planning?
A lot, like
lot.
100. Yeah.
And that would be for low-income seniors and veterans would be the primary populations, so.
Along with market rate, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Next. You had mentioned last time about the whole order of conditions and stuff like that, and some signs. Did we want to maybe find out a cost on some of those
Yeah.
signs like that eventually?
One thing I
Put up
Put an affidavit, yeah, like, well,
while construction's going on, like you were
Yeah.
saying, right?
We just got a notice through Robert from Mount Wachusett Community College that their graphic design people are looking for projects. So I asked Robert if we could put in for a project, and he said yes, and so I did. With that sign in mind, and with some stickers that I'd like to have made so I can put them on pocket folders that we're gonna put interesting information in and hand to homeowners. nice to have our little logo that says Air Conservation Commission, something we could print out here. But to get the design work done on that.
Did you send them our, a snapshot or our picture of our other one?
I will, I haven't heard back from them yet, I just submitted my form yesterday. So, yeah, but I thought that was perfect timing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll get the artwork done, and then maybe we can have our Mass Corps folks make us some signs.
Yeah, maybe that's something we can stick in as our, well, some special conditions right away, right? We don't have to wait for anything.
Yep, good.
Anything else?
Motion adjourned.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're all done, thank you.